There are moments in life when you've prayed, believed, fasted, worked, and still nothing moves. Doors stay closed. Calls don't come. Opportunities pass you by, and you start wondering, God, did you forget about me? But what if the delay is not denial? What if the silence is not abandonment? What if what feels like a setback is actually divine strategy? See, we love the idea of destiny, but we struggle with the process. We celebrate the promise, but we resist the preparation. Yet every significant calling comes with a season of hidden development. When God delays, He is not punishing you. He is positioning you. Delay is often protection in disguise. You're asking for elevation, but God is building endurance. You're praying for influence, but He's shaping your integrity. You want the platform, but He's developing your character. Because if you arrive before you're ready, the very thing you prayed for can crush you. Delay is not denial. It is divine preparation unfolding behind the scenes. What feels like a closed door is often a construction site where God is reinforcing your foundation. You interpret the pause as rejection, but heaven interprets it as refinement. You assume something has been taken from you, yet in reality something is being built within you. The delay is stretching your capacity so that when the promise arrives, you can sustain it. Without preparation, promotion becomes pressure. Without depth, elevation becomes exposure. When God delays, He is strengthening the parts of you that applause cannot fix and success cannot teach. He is developing patience where there was impulsiveness, humility where there was pride, endurance where there was weakness. You may be asking for the outcome, but He is shaping the inner architecture. Because what you carry publicly must be supported privately. Delay also confronts your motives. It forces you to examine whether you want the blessing for validation or for purpose. It challenges whether your faith is rooted in outcomes or in relationship. In the waiting, your dependency deepens. You learn to trust God's character when you cannot track His calendar. There are battles you are not ready to fight yet, and responsibilities you are not ready to hold yet. If the door opened prematurely, the weight of the opportunity could collapse you. So the delay becomes mercy. It becomes protection. It becomes the unseen hand of God ensuring that when you step into what He promised, you step in whole, mature, and anchored. The pause is not punishment. It is positioning. It is the sacred space where potential transforms into readiness and calling matures into capacity. God develops your character before He delivers the calling, because calling without character is dangerous. We often focus on the size of the assignment, the visibility of the platform, the magnitude of the impact. But God is focused on the integrity of the vessel. He is less concerned about how high you rise and more concerned about how strong you stand when you get there. Influence amplifies who you already are. If there are cracks in your foundation, elevation will only expose them. Character is formed in obscurity, not in spotlight. It is built in the quiet decisions no one applauds, in the disciplines no one celebrates, in the obedience that feels unnoticed. When God delays the calling, He is shaping your consistency. He is teaching you to show up without recognition, to serve without validation, to stay committed without immediate reward. Because if you cannot steward small responsibility faithfully, greater responsibility will overwhelm you. There are attitudes that must be refined, habits that must be broken, wounds that must be healed before you step into what you are praying for. Unhealed insecurity can corrupt leadership. Unchecked ego can sabotage opportunity. Unresolved pain can distort purpose. So God works internally before He moves externally. He addresses the private before expanding the public. The calling may be clear, but the capacity must match it. The assignment may be promised, but the maturity must support it. When God delays the delivery, He is strengthening your discernment, deepening your humility, and anchoring your identity so that your purpose is not driven by applause or threatened by criticism. He is forming a version of you that can carry weight without losing balance and stand in pressure without compromising conviction. The waiting season reveals what's truly in your heart. When everything is moving fast and doors are opening, it's easy to say you trust God, but when progress slows, when prayers seem unanswered, when the timeline stretches beyond your comfort, what surfaces inside you begins to speak louder than your words? Waiting exposes your expectations, your motives, your fears, and your faith. It reveals whether your devotion is rooted in who God is or in what He gives. In the waiting, impatience rises. Comparison creeps in. Doubt whispers questions you thought you had conquered. You start measuring your life against someone else's breakthrough. You start wondering if you were overlooked or forgotten. But those emotions are not there to condemn you. They are there to refine you. They show you the areas where trust is still fragile and where surrender is still incomplete. Waiting also reveals endurance. It tests your consistency. Will you remain disciplined when there is no visible reward? Will you continue to serve when no one notices? Will you keep believing when circumstances contradict the promise? The waiting season strips away performance and leaves only authenticity. It separates shallow excitement from deep conviction. When nothing external is changing, something internal is being clarified. Your priorities become clearer. Your dependence becomes stronger. Your relationship with God becomes less transactional and more relational. You begin to seek Him, not just for outcomes, but for alignment. You begin to understand that the process is shaping your heart more than the destination ever could. The waiting season is not empty space. It is sacred space where distractions fade and identity is refined. It is where faith matures from emotion into endurance and where trust becomes a choice rather than a feeling. Closed doors are often divine protection, even when they feel like painful rejection. What you interpret as loss may actually be preservation. You see a missed opportunity, but God sees a misaligned connection. You see a door shutting, but God sees a trap you were about to walk into. Not every open door is meant for you, and not every closed door is against you. Sometimes we pray for access without knowing the full cost of entry. We ask for relationships that look promising but carry hidden instability. We desire positions that appear successful but demand compromises we are not prepared to make. We chase opportunities that shine on the surface but conceal exhaustion, distraction, or danger beneath. God, in His mercy, closes what would have drained you, delayed you, or damaged you. Closed doors also protect your focus. If every option remained available, you would constantly second-guess your path. Too many alternatives can dilute clarity. When certain routes are blocked, your attention narrows. Your dependence deepens. You begin to lean into discernment rather than impulse. Protection does not always feel gentle. It can feel abrupt. It can feel confusing. It can bruise your ego and challenge your expectations. But a closed door can save you from unnecessary heartbreak, wasted time, and avoidable detours. It can shield you from environments that would have distorted your character or slowed your growth. Trusting closed doors requires believing that God sees beyond your limited perspective. He understands conversations you were not part of, intentions you could not detect, and outcomes you could not foresee. What feels like obstruction may be divine redirection. What feels like exclusion may be intentional alignment with something better suited for your purpose. Sometimes the no you resent today is the protection you will be grateful for tomorrow. Timing is just as important as the promise. A promise given too early can create frustration, and a promise fulfilled too soon can create collapse. You may be ready in desire, but readiness in desire is not the same as readiness in development. God does not operate on urgency. He operates on alignment. Alignment of people, alignment of circumstances, alignment of maturity, alignment of season. You can have the right vision and still be in the wrong moment. You can have the right skills and still be in the wrong environment. When timing is off, even good opportunities feel heavy. They require striving instead of flow. They demand force instead of favor. But when timing is right, there is a grace that surrounds the assignment. There is clarity. There is confirmation. There is peace that does not depend on perfection. Premature breakthroughs often come with pressure you are not equipped to carry. Exposure without endurance can damage confidence. Influence without wisdom can distort judgment. Increase without discipline can create instability. So God uses time as a tool. He stretches the season not to frustrate you, but to fortify you. While you are focused on the outcome, God is synchronizing details you cannot see. He is preparing conversations that have not happened yet. He is shifting hearts in rooms you have never entered. He is arranging intersections that will make the promise sustainable instead of temporary. Trusting God's timing means releasing control over the calendar. It means believing that delay does not equal deficiency. It means understanding that the same God who made the promise also manages the moment of fulfillment, ensuring that when it unfolds, it aligns with who you have become and where you are meant to step into purpose. Trusting God's process leads to greater purpose because process shapes perspective. Purpose is not just about arrival, it is about transformation along the way. If you focus only on the destination, you will resent the journey. But when you understand that every stage is intentional, even the uncomfortable parts begin to make sense. The process teaches you lessons the promise alone never could. In the process, you learn patience when outcomes are slow. You learn resilience when progress feels invisible. You learn humility when recognition is absent. These qualities are not optional accessories to purpose. They are the structure that holds it together. Without them, success becomes fragile. With them, purpose becomes sustainable. The process also builds intimacy with God. When doors are not opening and timelines are unclear, you are invited to rely on Him more deeply. Prayer shifts from being a request list to becoming alignment. You begin to seek guidance rather than shortcuts. You begin to value wisdom over speed. The journey refines your voice, your vision, and your convictions. Trusting the process means surrendering the need to control every outcome. It means believing that setbacks are not setbacks at all, but steps arranged with intention. It means recognizing that growth often happens quietly and that preparation rarely feels glamorous. As you walk through each stage, you are not just moving toward purpose. You are becoming the kind of person who can carry it with integrity and strength. The delays, the detours, the disciplines all work together to form a foundation that will support the weight of what is coming and expand your understanding of why it was worth enduring the journey. So, if you find yourself in a season where nothing seems to be moving, where the prayers feel unanswered and the doors feel closed, don't misinterpret the moment. This is not the end of your story. This is not proof that you were forgotten. This is the space where God is doing His deepest work. Every delay has been shaping you. Every closed door has been protecting you. Every waiting season has been revealing you. And every stretch of time has been aligning you with something greater than you could have arranged on your own. You asked for purpose. You asked for impact. You asked for destiny. But purpose requires preparation. Impact requires integrity. Destiny requires development. And God loves you too much to give you what you're not ready to sustain. What feels slow is strategic. What feels silent is intentional. What feels hidden is holy ground. One day the door will open. The opportunity will come. The promise will unfold. And when it does, you will not step into it insecure, impatient, or unprepared. You will step into it grounded, mature, and strengthened by everything you endured. So don't rush ahead. Don't lose heart. Don't abandon your faith in the middle of the process. When God delays, He is not denying you. He is designing you. And the greater plan He has for your life is unfolding with precision, purpose, and perfect timing.